Artificial Intelligence and Embodiment in Medicine. Tomoko Tamari Goldsmiths, University of London. Medical technology, especially computerization, has transformed both practices and knowledge in medicine. Artificial intelligence is rapidly expanding its application to many fields of digital health. Both Chen and Dicari. AI refers to computer systems that simulate or exhibit a specific aspect of human intelligence and intelligent behavior, such as learning, reasoning, and problem solving. It has been pointed out that such AI capacities could help to improve efficiency, safety, and accessibility to the health services. Now, AI has started diagnosis and prognosis of health condition and suggest what you need to do. Instead of going to see doctor, you just need your phone to chat with an AI. This kind of AI medical health services is generally implemented by language processing to allow users to describe the symptoms in a casual way, enabling expert systems to mine huge medical databases and using machine learning to string together correlations between symptoms and conditions. Babylon Health is a London-based digital-first healthcare provider which has been integrated with the UK National Health Service. According to the company founder, COE Aripasa, in order to realize medical care for all, the best way is stopping people from needing to see a doctor. In 2017, Babylon started a trial with a hospital trust in London. Calls to the NHS non-emergency 111 device line are handled partly by Babylon's AI. When you call 111, you are asked if you want to speak to a human or download the Babylon's NHS Online 111 app instead. Consequence was a bit of surprise when around 40,000 people opted for the app between late January and early October 2017. And 40% of those people who used the app stopped going to see a doctor and chosen self-treatment options. Babylon's AI chatbot medical exam, which is Royal College of General Practitioners, scored 81%. This was 9% higher than the average grade achieved by UK medical students. But the RCGP claimed a critical review of the result. One of the members said, an app might be able to pass an automated clinical knowledge test, but the answer to a clinical scenario isn't always cut and dry, and it won't replace a doctor, said RCGP Vice Chair Martin Marshall. To collect and store massive medical database and identify and create knowledge, the body is coded as a digital data into AI system. A good example is the DNA data. The body is composed of DNA which can be stored, retrieved, and rewritten, since the body as a data. The body in AI system has reconfigured the notion of the body. The body becomes computationally rendered imagery and, quote, circumscribed and comprehensible mathematically based model, world B. At this point, it might be said that the body loses its physical existence and materiality in the real world. But computer-based medical treatments work directly on the material bodies. As Waldby rightly claimed, the medical computer's relation with human bodies is not purely metaphorical and conceptual, but rather extends into practices of material inscription and reordering which work directly on the material bodies, intervening in them in new and profound ways. If the medical data in AI can be seen as a practice of material inscription that work directly on bodies, the body itself can not only be a data, but also material as a living being. Anna Harris succinctly explained the significance of body's materiality in practicing medical traditional and emblematic skill using percussion. Her initial concern was that the senses in contemporary medicine can be replaced by technology such as blood pressure machine, ultrasound, echocardiograms, medical practices involving touch, listening, or more embodied approach to care. She quote Berger, sensory skills are considered lost in an era of technolysis. Given her concern as a backdrop, she started to examine a sensory engagement with materiality to the body. Percussion is a medical technique which is part of traditional medical craft. The skill is taught and only obtained by practicing touch and by repetitive training. This is a process of embodiment. Quote, Kate and Payne. A doctor can acquire bodily information through not just auditory of pitch, but also the tactile information on vibration or resistance and reflect the ratio of air to solid structure under the area being percussed. Harris emphasized that the lived body does not have senses, but rather is sensible. This is because our sensory capacity does not rely on a single sensory organ, but on as organs of the body as a whole. Hence, she thinks that the novices' bodies, in this case, medical students, are crafted in the process of embodiment. The medical students' crafted body also enables them to find their own bodies through self-percussion. This process is important to find the pathological differences through percussion. To get this skill, students are encouraged to find correspondences on their own bodies. They try to be sensible to their own bodies as their reference point for understanding the patient's bodies. Hence, their crafted body senses not only their own bodies, but also other bodies through self-percussion. In this process, the body works as a platform. The medical students are both touched and touching, perceived and perceiver, affected and affected through a crafted material bodies. The materiality of the body is also a central issue for computer scientists who are interested in robotics. How does the body shape the way we think? This is a key question raised by computer scientists Rolf Pfeiffer and Josh Bangert. This is also their book title, published in 2007. These scientists conceive that having or being the body is a vital element to understand our intelligence. They pursue, quote, the kinds of thought that we produce or carry out ultimately have their foundation in our embodiment. The notion of embodiment is based on the idea of intelligence always require a body. More precisely, they ascribe, quote, intelligence only to agents that are embodied. For example, real physical systems, which include organisms or robots, always interact with environments through bodies. Hence, their project does not include software or computer programs, since they are disembodied. Pfeiffer and Vanguard write, unlike the cognitivistic view of intelligence, which is algorithm-based, the embodied approach envisions the intelligent artifact as more than just a computer program. It has a body, and it behaves and performs tasks in the real world. It is not only a model of biological intelligence, but a form of intelligence in its own right. For Pfeiffer and Vanguard, embodiment means having a body, and intelligence needs a body. They look at a system which is embodied. For example, biological system should interact with the natural environment, such as gravity, friction, and energy supply in order to survive. All these processes come from the interaction between physical action and neural processing. This is interaction between physical process and information processing. Or more broadly speaking, it is the interaction between the body and the brain. Pfeiffer and Vanguard explains that this interaction can be equivalent to the relation between the robot actions and its control program. For them, a robot is an important modality since it has a body. They think the body is not just a data, and they also consider that, quote, the notion of intelligence as a computation is misleading. Biological intelligence is embodied, and it must communicate with physical world through the material body. For instance, if you want to understand human walking, you can only know it by building an actual walking robot. Their fundamental methodology is understanding by building. They call it synthetic methodology. They believe that synthetic methodology could help better understand a living human body. In this light, a robot with AI is no longer a practical alternative tool, but it becomes more methodological thinking tool. Pfeiffer and Vanguard demonstrate an interesting example to understand the significance of embodiment. They think many ordinary tasks become much easier to exercise due to embodiment in biological system. For example, when you try to grasp a grass, you soft deformable tissue with your fingertips makes the grasping the hard object easier. The reason the task become easier is that the morphological and material properties of the hand have part of neural control. If you are to grasp a glass with symbols, you would have to be much more careful about how and where you place your fingers. The morphological and the material properties of the hand, biological characteristics of hands are, in turn, closely linked to and indicate how neural networks work. As mentioned so far, both Harris's Percussion and Pfeiffer and Vanguard's robotics emphasize the significance of material body. However, they use the term embodiment differently. Whereas Harris's embodiment refers to acquisition process of sensorial or cultural and traditional skill. Pfeiffer and Vanguard's embodiment can be characterized by having a body which can be seen as a scientific system or mechanism. Jean-Luc Nancy wrote, nature always contains and offers a prime matter for technology, whereas technology alters, transforms, and converts natural resources toward its own ends. This suggests that technology always exists within nature. Pfeiffer and vanguard notion of embodiment in robotics can resonate with Nancy's remarks, since they seek to discover and learn something new from biological system in nature. Harris medical doctor's traditional skill percussion, however, can be positioned not only in the biological, but also in a cultural context. Harris's concern with disappearing traditional cultural and medical skill due to being replaced by machine is a common concern in a technological advanced society. Gilbert Simondon directly addressed this issue and considered the consequences and the potential of the new technology in culture and developed his idea of relationship between culture and the techniques. He wrote, culture has become a system of defense designed to safeguard man from techniques, and argued that the opposition established between the cultural and the technical and between man and machine is wrong and has no foundation. And this is because he thought, in reality, the world of a technical object, the mediators between man and nature. So for Pfeiffer and Vanguard, the robot as an embodied agent is a technical object which mediates between man and nature and between technology and nature. For Harris, medical student as crafted body is a cultured and organic agent that also mediates between man and nature and between craft and culture. For Simondon, the body becomes reimagined as an ontogenic process that is constantly being informed by its encounters with forces of its milieu. Hence, the body is central and key element for both in order to better understand organic body. In order to explore the organic body and ontogenic process, we need to create a transdisciplinary fields of the body in which we incorporate technology, science, biology, culture, and ethics in order to pursue further understanding of the organic, cultured, and digitized human body, so as to enhance medical knowledge and practice. Here, Simondon's notion of technical mentality can be helpful to construct a new field. Although Simondon never defined the term clearly, technical mentality, Lapworth explained, quote, the technical mentality constitutes our operative mode of thinking and doing technology, and it comprises a metastable field of modes of thought, affective tendencies, and ethical value. Simondon explains different technical mentalities emerged in the artisanal, industrial, and post-industrial epochs, and transform and create a new machine-human relationship. If AI is becoming an increasing pressing issue in the medical field and changes the notion of the human body, we need to work on the question of delineate a new technical mentality in the era of digital revolution. Thank you very much.